Unsloth's July 29th beta gives local AI something beyond another chat box, a deep research mode that can plan, read, and cite sources while using a local model. The meaningful change is workflow. Give deep research a question, and Unsloth says it creates a plan, searches the web, organizes evidence, and produces a cited report. Unsloth says deep research currently works with local models. The web remains a source of information, but the model running the research workflow can be on your own system. Before the research starts, you can review and edit the proposed plan. That gives you a checkpoint to redirect a weak approach before the model spends time gathering evidence. Once a run begins, Unsloth lets you follow its progress and inspect collected sources. The research is not presented only as a mysterious pause followed by a polished answer. A run can be resumed or canceled without losing research already completed. For longer jobs, that turns interruption from a total reset into a manageable workflow decision. You can allow or block websites to influence source selection. That is useful control, but it also means your choices can narrow the evidence the model is permitted to collect. Sources and citations remain saved with each research run. That preserves a trail you can revisit instead of separating the final report from the material used to build it. Before writing, Unsloth says the system checks for unsupported claims, contradictions, and unresolved gaps. That is a quality control step, not proof that every surviving conclusion is automatically correct. When a recommendation lacks direct evidence, Unsloth says it is marked as a testable inference. That distinction matters because a plausible next step is not the same as a sourced fact. There is a clear concurrency boundary. Only one deep research run can be active inside each chat. Multiple chats can exist, but one conversation does not host several research runs simultaneously. An optional grounding mode can read top search results into temporary RAG before synthesis. It is enabled with the exact setting unsloth.research.autoscrape setim1. Full page grounding remains off by default because it adds scraping time and requires additional context. Better access to page content, therefore, comes with explicit time and context costs. That trade-off is the first reality check. Local deep research can gather richer material, but the documented grounding option consumes more time and context before the final synthesis even starts. The same release adds parallel chat, allowing multiple conversations to generate at once. Starting a new chat leaves the previous answer running instead of forcing it to stop. Each active conversation receives its own progress indicator and stop control. You can stop one chat without interrupting the others or restarting the underlying server. Unsloth configures 4 llama-server slots by default, and the count is adjustable in the web interface. Available memory, however, still decides how much parallel work is realistic. Tools, uploads, self-healing, and agents remain isolated between chats. Parallel generation is therefore not described as one shared workspace, where every conversation can touch another chat's resources. When memory is limited, Unsloth reduces the slot count. Parallel chat is not a promise of fixed concurrency on every machine. Capacity adapts to available resources. Reloading the model still stops active chats, although Unsloth asks for confirmation first. Independent stop controls help during normal use, but a model reload remains a shared interruption. Together, research runs, and parallel chats change local AI from a single answer queue into a more capable workspace. The release supports multiple conversations, while each chat keeps one active research job. The beta also documents Dynamic GGUF routes for DeepSeek V4 Flash and Kimi K3. Running locally is possible according to Unsloth, but possible does not mean lightweight. For DeepSeek V4 Flash, the release lists UDIQ1S at 83 GB, UDIQ3XXS at 104, and UDQ4KXL at 155 GB. The same release lists DeepSeek's lossless UDQ8 CAX-JXL at 162 TB of disk space. that is, Unsloth's published figure, and it radically changes the meaning of local. For DeepSeek V4 Flash, Unsloth says it automatically detects multi-GPU systems and can offload model layers into system memory. That helps distribute the load, not erase it. Unsloth describes Kimi K3 as a 2.8 trillion parameter MoE model with 104 billion active parameters, native vision, and a 1 million token context window. Kimi K3 is documented as thinking only, with no instant mode. Unsloth supports low, high, and max reasoning effort, while its documentation says max thinking is the default. The Kimi K3 UDIQ1S quant occupies about 594 gigabytes. Unsloth recommends it as a size and quality balance, which tells you how enormous the baseline really is. Unsloth's Kimi guide says the UDIQ1S workflow requires at least 610 gigabytes of total memory. Its table defines total memory as RAM plus VRAM, or unified memory. Kimi's UDQ4 GGUF is listed at 1.51 terabytes, while lossless UDQ8 GGUF reaches 1.56 terabytes. Local, in this case, can mean workstation-scale storage and memory. Unsloth reports its dynamic 1-bit Kimi quant at roughly 79% top 1 agreement and 2.58 perplexity. The documentation presents that result as surprisingly usable, not lossless. Guide's rule of thumb is that RAM plus VRAM should roughly equal the quant size. If it does not, Unsloth says disk offloading can work, but much more slowly. Unsloth documents Studio support across macOS, Windows, and Linux. Studio can detect multi-GPU setups, offload automatically to RAM, and run GGUF or SafeTensor models locally. The release expands AMD support with improved detection for RDNA 2, Radeon, Ryzen, Strix Halo, and workstation GPUs, plus more reliable ROCm inference and training. On Linux, MI50 and Radeon 7 gain support for 16-bit LoRa and full fine-tuning. The release also reports fixes for 4-bit NANDs, library conflicts, and long RDNA startup stalls. Unsupported Windows HIP GPUs can fall back to Vulkan. Vulkan devices now show their real names and can be selected individually, making the fallback more explicit and controllable. Intel XPU now enables local chat and training on Intel Arc and data center GPUs. The release also adds Dora beside LoRa and full fine-tuning. A new Unsloth start as sub-agent option lets Codex, Claude Code, and Pi delegate tasks to a local Unsloth model, extending the release beyond Studio's own chat interface. This beta adds genuine workflow features: planning, citations, source controls, checks, resumable research, and parallel chats. None of those remove the time, context, memory, or model size constraints documented alongside them. The breakthrough is not that a local model can answer another question. It is that Unsloth now connects local inference to a structured, cited, inspectable research process and lets several conversations keep moving.